Today in this tutorial, I'm going to be taking you through the steps of how to make this beautiful pyramid coin purse. I like to call it a CC pouch. So for this pouch, I've used the Chevron Pattern with 2 shades, so be sure to watch it till the end. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Purple Tulip workshop, where you learn your stitches and stitch to create with love. I'm your host Shipra, and I'll be taking you through a series of videos on different types of stitches and projects. So if you're excited and ready to learn, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notifications so you'll never miss when I post a new video. So for today's tutorial, I'm going to be using these 2 shades of cotton yarn. These yarns are by White Rose. They're known as the glossy mellow cotton yarn. They have a similar thickness to fingering yarn. So I'm going to use these 2 shades. I'm going to be requiring a locking pin, a darning needle, scissors, and I'm using a hook size of 2.25 mm, which is the same as size B1 in the US. I will also be requiring a measuring tape. And I'm going to be using one side of the zip. This zip has a length of 8 inches. So let's get started. So I'm going to start by making our slip knot. And I'm going to be making a foundation chain in the multiples of 10, and then I'll add +2. So I'm making a foundation chain of 70 and then +2 with it. So that's a total of 72. So I've made 70 chains, and I'm just going to add the 2. So that's the +2. And now I'm going to make a round out of this chain. So make sure that your chain is not twisted. And then we will join it with a slip stitch. So I've inserted my hook into the last stitch. And we'll just bring this loop all the way through like this. So now that our foundation chain is joined into the round, I'm going to now move on to round 1 of how to start with the project. So we will start with chain 2. This chain 2 is going to be counted as the first of our half double crochet. And now in the next 3 stitches, I'm going to do 1 half double crochet in each stitch. So I'll have my yarn over the hook, and I'll insert my hook into the next stitch, and I'll bring the yarn all the way through all 3 loops. So if you want to refer to my earlier tutorials on half double crochet, you can refer to it from the link above. So I've done 1. I'm going to do the next 2. So that's 2. And that is 3. So we have 3 half double crochets, and this initial chain is also counted as 1, so that is 4 stitches. Now in the next stitch, I'm going to increase, so I'm going to do 3 half double crochets in the same stitch. 1, 2, 3. And the next 4 stitches, in each stitch I'm going to do 1 half double crochet. One, 2, 3, and 4. Now we need to decrease in the next 3 stitches. So I'll show you how to decrease a half double crochet. So I have the yarn over, and I'll insert my hook in the first stitch there, and I'll pull the yarn through, and then I'll have the yarn over again. I'll put this hook into the next stitch, and I'll pull the yarn through, and then again yarn over, put the hook into the next stitch, pull the yarn through. And now we'll have the yarn all the way through all of these stitches. So that's my decrease. And now next I'll be doing 4 half double crochets and then 4 stitches. So I have my yarn over, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I'm going to increase in that next stitch. I'm going to put it in 3 half double crochets. One, 2, and 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue this sequence of 4 half double crochets, then increase, 4 half double crochets, and then the decrease, and then 4 half double crochets, increase, and I'm going to continue this all the way through the sequence, all the way through in the round, and I'll meet you once I've reached here. So I'm going to pause my video now. Now I've come to the nearly end, so this last portion is the 3 stitches where we will be decreasing the stitches. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And now we will do a slip stitch to join, chain 2, and I'll just show you how this looks. So you'll be able to see how the increasing and the decreasing is going to create the peak and the valley effect for this CC pouch. Moving on to second round. So we've done a chain 2. This is the first half double crochet for us. So we need this center part as the peak point, and then 4 stitches down. So that's 1, 2, 3, and this is already the 4th. So we're not going to be inserting a hook here. We'll be inserting a hook over here. And I'll be using the back loops. I'll be working on the back loops over here. So for the first stitch on the second round, I'll be inserting my hook into this stitch. So I'm going to be skipping. So the first stitch we already have the chain 2. We're skipping the next stitch, and I'm going to work in this next stitch. So that's the second half double crochet for us. And now in the next stitch, so this is the first chain, so we got 3 half double crochets there, and then in the next stitch I'm going to be doing the increase. So that's 3 half double crochets in the same stitch, and we're going to be working into the back loops all the way through in the entire project. And we're going to do 4 half double crochets in the next 4 consecutive stitches. Three and 4, and then we'll decrease the next 3 stitches. So that's our decrease. Then we do 4 half double crochets in the next 4 stitches. And I'm going to do the peak now, which is an increase of 3 half double crochets into the same stitch. One, 2, and 3. I'm going to now just continue on with this sequence with doing the 4 half double crochets, then increasing to make the peak, and then decreasing to make the valley. I'm just going to keep on with this the entire row, and actually we're going to repeat the same sequence that we did over here. We'll repeat it for another 2 rounds. So I'll meet you once I've completed 2 more rounds. I'll meet you at that end, and then I'll show you how we're going to add in the next color. I'm back, and I've done 5 rows of that earlier sequence of half double crochet, increase, and half double crochets and decrease. Now I'm at a point where we need to join in the second color, which is the gray shade. So I'm going to insert this gray shade in like this, and I will pull through onto the other yarn. So now we have the gray shade in, and I'm going to hide this tail end within my work. So for round 6 we will do chain 1 to begin with the gray, and then we will skip this stitch. Like earlier we were skipping that stitch, so we're going to skip this stitch and we're going to start working from this stitch. So we're going to be doing single crochets with the gray yarn, and we're working on the back loops. So we're going to do 4 single crochets, so that's 1, 2, and then that's 3. So our first chain is considered as the first single crochet, and we have 3 after that, so that's 4 stitches there. And now we're going to increase in the center stitch over here in the peak. We're going to do 3 single crochets. And next we'll do 4 single crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I'm going to decrease 3 stitches, so that's 1, 2, 3. So this is how we decrease the single crochets. Next we're going to do 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again we'll increase 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to continue on with this sequence of 4 single crochets and then decrease, 4 single crochets, increase, 4 single crochets, decrease, on and on till the end. Once I've come here, then I'll show you how to join in the next color again. So now I've come to the nearly end. I'm just going to do the decrease over here now in the last 3 stitches. And we're going to do a slip stitch to join that row. Now we're going to join in our teal shade back into the work and pull onto the gray yarn and leave the gray at the back. And now we're going to continue on with the 7th row. So we're going to do chain 2, and we're going to follow the same sequence that we have over here. So it's chain 2, and then we're going to skip that 1 stitch and then work 4 half double crochets and then increase. So it's over here we'll do 3 half double crochets obviously, and then over there we'll do 4 half double crochets. We have a chain 2 here already. One, 2, and 3. So we got the 3 half double crochets and then we have the chain, so that's 4 stitches. And now we're going to increase in the middle stitch to make our peak. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do 4 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're going to decrease 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and back on to 4 half double crochets. And I'm going to continue the sequence until the end. And we're actually going to be repeating the gray yarn single crochet and the teal yarn half double crochets. So I'm going to repeat this another 5 times. So I'm going to, once I come to the end over here, I join the the teal yarn with a slip stitch. Then I will also bring in this gray yarn from the back, and then I'll join it in. And then I'll start working with the gray yarn, and I'll do the single crochet sequence as I did in round 6. So we'll repeat this. That's 6, row 6, then that's row 7. I'm going to repeat this another 4 times. So I'll meet you once I've done 4 more rows of this. So this is the first row, then I need to do another 4 additional rows, and once I've completed that, I'll meet you then. So I've come to the point where I've finished doing 5 rows of the gray single crochet. Now I'm going to move my teal shade back into my pattern, and I'm going to do chain 2, and I'm going to continue on with the similar pattern that we have over here, where we've done 5 rows of the half double crochet. I'm going to repeat that up here as well. So we're going to skip 1 stitch, and then we're going to do 3 half double crochets, so we're going to repeat the same pattern and the same sequence that we have done initially. The same sequence that we did over here, we're going to repeat it up here. So I'm going to do another 5 rows up here, and once I've come to the end of the 5 rows, I'll meet you there. So I'm back. I've done the 5 rows of half double crochet. Now I'm going to finish this up. So for finishing, I've done a chain 1 already here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull onto this loop of the teal shade a little bit longer, and then I'm going to just snip this up. So the teal shade is separate. Now we still have the gray yarn in there. I'm gonna just take a few inches on this and snip this up as well. Now with the help of a darning needle, I'm going to weave in the gray yarn in first. So on the reverse side, we will just weave the ends. You could actually just hide the yarn. You could snip up the yarn over here and then hide in the yarn while you were working the gray single crochets. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to be closing up the CC pouch over here, and for that I'm going to put this long part of my yarn tail end into my darning needle, and I'll show you how I plan on sewing this in. So what I would like to do is I would like to match up the peak with the valley end so that the chevron print remains the same. So I've just twisted a little bit off the edge, and I'm going to weave in the bottom part of the CC pouch like this. So we're going to turn it inside out, and we'll start from here. You can put in a marker pin just to have this in the correct place, and there we go. So I'm just, because my join is somewhere over here, I'm going to just bring up my yarn to this tail tip part, and now we're going to weave it in. So for weaving in, I'm going to be picking up both loops on both the sides. There we go, I've woven in the bottom part of the CC pouch. I'm just going to place in a knot. And we just weave this extra tail end within the existing stitches. And snip up this extra tail. So now that we turn this inside out and bring it onto the right side, so you can see how the bottom part of the pouch has neatly been sewn in. The next part of the CC pouch is where we're going to be attaching the zip. So I'm going to be using only one side of the zip, and what I've done is I've taken off the metal ends, the metal lock ends from here, and we can just open up the zip and keep this runner on the side, and we're going to use one end of the zip only. So what I've done now is I've got some of my normal needle and some thread, which is a matching thread to my teal yarn. So this is the shade I'm using. I'm going to place in a knot at the end of my thread, and now I'm going to just put this into my zip. So on the wrong side of my zip, I'm just going to place in the knot end, and I'm just going to add in a plus knot just to make it more secure. So this is more secure now. Now what we need to do is, because we've stitched one of the ends flat like this, I'm going to put in the zip for the other end like this. So this is how we need to fold it, but we also need to get it aligned into the center. And now I'm going to get this zip to fold it into half, and we're going to place in the zip like this. I'm just going to secure this with some pins like this. I'm going to use the back stitch technique. I'm going to very carefully stitch between the loops. It's going to be between the existing stitches. So now I've come to the nearly end. I'm just going to quickly put in the runner, and I need the runner facing this direction. So there we go. So we have the runner in as well. Now I'm going to be securing the end part of our zip. I'm going to move that in. Open up the zip a little bit so that we can finish this portion. Now I'm going to bring my needle to the end part of the zip because I'm going to place in a lock here so that the zip doesn't come off. So it's just basic simple straight stitches, and we can just put it all the way through till the end over here. So the zip is locked over here. I'm going to take the needle on the other side. And place in a knot. So there we go, and we can add a small keychain to our zip. There we go. Our variation on the CC pouch is ready. It's a nice pattern. Chevron Pattern CC pouch. So if you like this video, then do give it a thumbs up and do subscribe to my channel from the link below and click on to the bell icon for the latest updates. Take care for now and stay safe. Bye bye.